I'd like to hope that at least 99.9% of the people watching this video are aware of who Cosmodore is and what they've done. However, I know that's wishful thinking, and as such, I've decided to intro this video with a summary about who Cosmodore is, what they've done up to this point, and how we've ended up in this situation. So, as a little rundown, Cosmodore is a film review YouTuber now disgraced for their involvement with minors in various different ways, including sexually. Now, this happened after Cosmodore relapsed and ended up sending sexually explicit messages or sexually engaging physically with a minor, which they haven't clarified, and Cosmodore left the internet after exposing themselves for that with a response saying that they were going to get themselves help and not return until they were better. Well, Cosmodore returned only a few weeks after leaving with quite possibly one of the worst responses I've ever had the displeasure of sitting through. Why is it that almost everyone that gets called out with these allegations starts with the exact same process of firstly trying to defend themselves, secondly apologizing, and thirdly returning back a few weeks later expecting everyone to have forgiven them like they took any time to learn what was wrong with them and correct their past mistakes? Either way, Cosmodore's back, and I think it's incredibly important that I make people aware of how fucking terrible this response is, so let's delve right into it. But before we begin, I'm going to keep this intro segment short because I really don't want to pad out the runtime with a bunch of plugs or whatever. These videos take a lot of time to make, and to be completely honest, posting them daily is very difficult for me. So if you could just consider subscribing to help me keep up the pace towards 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year, that would be highly appreciated. As always, you can always unsubscribe later if you don't enjoy the content, or decide that you don't want to be subscribed anymore, but just helping me for now and making sure that you get to see another one of my videos if maybe this one doesn't hit the mark, please do consider subscribing. That would genuinely mean a lot. Also, I have other social media like Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and more, all linked down in the description below if you'd like to support me on various different platforms. Finally, if you'd like to support these videos financially, I have a Patreon, Ko-fi, Join button, all linked down below. Donate and get shoutouts at the end of the video, and with that being said, let's get right into it. Cosmodore's expected response after taking a few week break, because oh yeah, they're definitely going to learn what was wrong and get the help they need in that time. Cosmodore's response is a 1 hour long premiered video with no script where they have no central focus other than making more and more excuses to try and excuse their past behavior. So they haven't learned anything, they're returning for the sake of PR to try and see if they can gather back their audience, and genuinely once again they show themselves to not actually care about learning and taking accountability. But before I even get into that assumption, this video, everything I say in it, allegations. I don't want people claiming anything I say as fact, as I'm only giving my opinion, okay? This is my opinion. Please, don't sue me. Okay, so Cosmodore starts this stream by discussing returning to YouTube, a few weeks after allegedly, under their own admission, sexually preying on a second minor, who, in my opinion, was likely a fan, given how Cosmodore has done this to their fans in the past. Cosmodore excused their actions by saying that this behavior was part of life. Like, this is some sort of natural, normal progression in humans' lives to sexually involve themselves with minors. And then Cosmodore continues by saying that he's trying to be a good person. If you're trying to be a good person, Cosmodore, here's some good advice for you. Stay gone. Get the fuck off the internet. Take some time away from the internet, months, maybe a year, to learn what you did was wrong, realize your fucking mistakes, and don't come back until you've actually changed and are no longer a danger to kids in your fan base. I am very, very, very generous with my presentation of you here, and I am very generous in how forgiving I am. I am willing to let you return to your platform once you've shown that you are no longer a harm to kids. I am willing to forgive someone if they prove that they've learned from their mistakes, and I know a lot of people aren't that generous. So, Cosmodore, take my fucking olive branch, step away from the internet, and learn what you did was wrong. Cosmodore continues by saying that a lot of their words are being misconstrued, and that although they've made mistakes, they don't believe people are listening to what they actually say. I disagree with this highly. Cosmodore's videos were blunt and filled with lies under their own admission, as they admitted that what they said was untrue and that their actions were wrong. Their words were clear in their community post, and most just stated the objective fact that Cosmodore had preyed on minors under their own admission. If Cosmodore had examples of where they'd been misconstrued, I'd be more inclined to agree, but this is just a baseless claim with no evidence, and again it feels like an excuse on Cosmodore's part. Cosmodore also says their therapist tells them to call what they did bad decisions and not mistakes, which means they are going through therapy. However, I find it insane that their therapist is telling them to post more videos. This therapist sucks if their advice is to tell someone who's preying on their fans to keep posting. That's why I'm so skeptical that Cosmodore is even seeing a therapist, but I'm glad that Cosmodore took my advice to speak to a therapist. God, Cosmodore loves to run with the excuses though. They continue to excuse their behavior by pinning it on the environment they grew up in, stating that, oh, well guys, it was the people that were around me that normalized this behavior. Well, looking into German law and seeing how these relationships would be illegal, I highly doubt this is the case. Cosmodore tries to act like Germany is this some sort of other world where people just go around as adults dating kids and that people don't see issue with this, and it's simply not the case. I'm sure there's a multitude of German people that could comment on this video and say that's not the case, but Germany is not just this outlandish world where it's become the norm to sext kids. I don't care what Cosmodore's excuse is here, because it's so obviously a misconstrued demonstration of what Germany actually is. People don't actually allow this behavior in Germany. Cosmodore's full of fucking shit. Cosmodore actually states that the people they manipulated aren't victims and that they didn't groom them, which is a blatant fucking lie. Cosmodore admitted to sexually involving themselves with minors, and also highlighted that they intended to meet up with this minor, going as far as to turn up to the event they wanted to meet this minor at, allegedly, and giving the definition of grooming is the action by a predator of preparing a child for meeting, especially via an internet chat room with the intention of committing a sexual offense. I'd say that had classed them as a groomer. The fact that Cosmodore still excuses this is problematic at best, and the fact that they're still posting on their platform means they still pose harm to their kid fanbase, and until they learn their lesson and aren't a risk to kids anymore, they shouldn't have this fanbase. Cosmodore states something important, that they've been diagnosed with unstable personality disorder, and although there's no evidence that's been provided, this would explain how Cosmodore acts at points. However, mental health will never be an excuse for terrible behavior. Mental health is not an excuse for preying on kids. Mental health is not an excuse for anything else, because despite struggling with whatever mental health disorder you're struggling with, your actions are still your own. Though, to be completely fair to the Orange Man, he does actually state that he's not using this as an excuse, but a topic other than, quote, dating minors, which I don't think you could have worded it even worse if you tried, but I think what they're trying to say is they just wanted to talk about something different, and I can understand that, but again, it does still sort of come across as a manipulatory way, interjecting, oh guys, listen, I'm struggling with mental health in the middle of a video about how you've preyed on kids, does have the unintentional side effect of making people feel like that's an excuse. Now, this is when it becomes a serious problem, as this comment here made me actually concerned. Cosmodore claims their newest ex, the one they got sexually explicit with, according to their public timeline, a minor, was a relationship they had in real life, as long as this timeline is correct. This in itself is incredibly concerning, as it implies, and just a clarification, I'm not accusing Cosmodore here, because they kept their post vague enough that I can't. This implies that in real life, Cosmodore sexually involved themselves with a minor. This is absolutely abhorrent if this is as it seems, and unforgivably distressing. He does follow up this point by saying that he only held their hand, which I personally don't believe, but you can make your own decision on this. He does mention that a thing happened with this ex though that caused their relationship to end, and this is implied to be a bad decision Cosmodore made, again raising my concern. Cosmodore follows up by stating that this decision was one that led Cosmodore to going to therapy. This ties with the community post stating that he did something sexually explicit with a minor, and as such I think it's important to mention the possibility of a minor being taken advantage of in person. As such, I decided to leave this whole point in, whether it's not completely factual or not, and whether at this moment it's only speculation and an allegation. If this is true, I genuinely urge the minor to contact the police and make sure that Cosmodore is charged for sexually explicit involvement with them, as this at this point with Cosmodore's admission on their community post is enough to put Cosmodore in handcuffs, I'd hope, for this fucking disgraceful behavior if it's true. Cosmodore continues by stating that a victim is only a victim if they view themselves as a victim, and correlates himself with Call Me Carson, using Carson as an example of people that get cancelled ridiculously for a 2-year age gap. This is a complete manipulation to make Cosmodore look better. Cosmodore is 22 years old and was preying on kids sexually, people under the age of 18. That's very different to a 19-year-old talking to a 17-year-old sexually. No matter your feelings on Carson, whether you believe Carson is a disgraceful person or not, that point in itself is an incredibly manipulative way to make Cosmodore seem better than what they actually are, by tying it to someone that is someone who appears to actually be trying to learn from their mistake, who dated a fan who was 17 at 19. The two should simply not be correlated in any way. Cosmodore describes being a content creator like appeasing people's expectations, which is a false equivalence to how they've been held accountable. This comes across like Cosmodore excusing their actions and blaming the audience for expecting Cosmodore not to sexually involve themselves with kids. Cosmodore talks about cancel culture and how it's bad, and how a lot of people get cancelled for no reason. Why does this have any place in a video from a groomer discussing how they were exposed for sexually involved themselves with minors? I don't know, but Cosmodore for some reason thought this was a good point to make. Cosmodore then decides to mock drama channels, making it seem like they abuse creators for views, which, to be fair, in certain occasions does happen. However, this isn't what happened to Cosmodore at all. Cosmodore is a predator. Cosmodore claims these channels are on a high horse, and goes on a tangent devaluing drama channels. At least Cosmodore thinks my videos on them were good though. Cosmodore furthers this point by stating that they wish that they didn't have an audience that agreed with the drama channels. And if you believe that I'm misconstruing these points at all, I'll link Cosmodore's video down below. If he takes it down, that's on him, not me. This just comes across again like Cosmodore is looking to be excused for their behavior and want people to believe that they've learned despite not changing anything at all, and despite them literally being gone for a few weeks. Cosmodore then says they hope one day they can become a respected creator in the community, and I truly fear that day. Cosmodore should under no means return to the internet until they've learned their lesson. This video was full of excuses, and they need to get fucking help before they come back and make more excuses. Cosmodore makes a lot more awful points in this video, and I may make a follow-up in the future going over them, but these are my main concerns from the first half of the 1-hour premiere, and I'm gonna leave this video here. In conclusion, Cosmodore made a video excusing their behavior again, just like they've done in the past, while trying to thinly veil it in this situation, making it seem less about defending themselves and more about owning up, which they don't do at all. They even at points state that they didn't groom a kid, and that the kids aren't even victims, and it's fucking insane the way they try to defend themselves here. Thank you for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video, please do consider going down below and clicking subscribe on the channel to help support these videos, to help support me, to make sure I don't disappear from your life forever, and also to help me reach my 50,000 subscriber goal by the end of the year. If you could do that for me, it would mean more than I could possibly explain. The fact you guys have helped me with so many milestones has obviously, by the amount I thank you guys, shown how much I genuinely care. You guys have changed my life. Genuinely, on a real, you guys changed me from being a kid that just wanted to achieve a dream that was stuck, never getting anywhere with it, to someone that's actually living their childhood dreams. And if you've ever had a childhood dream, you should understand how much that means to you. This has never been about the numbers to me. I've never cared about having subs, or having views, or having followers, or having any of that shit. I don't care. I've always wanted to be able to give my voice, and I know a lot of people in life discuss those people that always want their life to mean more, to have some overarching goal, and to actually mean something. And to be honest, I do view myself as one of those people. I don't think I could genuinely survive if I didn't believe that my voice was having some sort of impact. So the fact that you guys have allowed that impact with my voice has meant a lot. Thank you for allowing me to change lives, to do more than I could possibly explain by having this voice that you've given me. And I don't mean that in an egotistical way, but more in a way where I'm just so grateful that I'm able to discuss these topics and people are taking my voice into account on these situations. People like to drive by, so I'm not sure if you can hear it. That's actually a helicopter, holy shit, wow. They are very close, please don't crash into my house. While they're there, ring the bell if you see it. so that you get notified whenever I upload. And also do feel free to check out my other social media link down below on this channel. I leave my Twitter, Discord, Instagram all down below. My Instagram is getting close to 1k followers now, so if you'd like to help me get to that, that would be highly appreciated. My Twitter is on its way to 4,000, which is insane, but I am taking a break from Twitter at the moment because I've been dealing with my stalker again, which is not fun, and they've actually been doxing people and threatening to come to my location and kill me, so that's not very based. But also, if you'd like to donate to this content, I know it's a bit of a weird segue from stalker to give me money, but if you'd consider donating to this channel to help me fund these videos and help me hire editors and help me keep up my 6 PM, 1 PM EST grind, that would be highly appreciated. Thank you for all the recent support. Thank you for being here, for allowing me to make this content, and with that being said, I'll see you next time. Peace.
Says she wanna rock with it like me. I'm a stylish guy. Spend a little guap with it like me. We can catch a fly. Says she wanna rock with it like me.